Fight fans, buckle up. Tyson versus Mayweather, a shouldn't-happen fight that's somehow happening. Two empires built on opposite laws of combat just agreed to share a ring. Mike Tyson, the heavyweight who turned fear into a brand, and Floyd Mayweather, the welterweight who turned defense into invincibility, say they'll meet in an exhibition in 2026. Tyson didn't sugarcoat it. He called the matchup unpredictable, the sort of event boxing wasn't designed to allow, then added a warning that landed like a teaser trailer. If Floyd truly wants this, it could be detrimental to his health. Mayweather's counter was classic money. Mayweather, legacy can't be smudged, and anything he touches is big and legendary. Their quotes did the job, the internet did the rest. The result? A headline that sells itself before a single poster, press tour, or promo package. The most powerful marketing device in combat sports is controlled uncertainty, and this announcement delivered it in layers. We don't have a city. We don't have a date beyond 2026. We don't know the exact rule set, glove size, round length, headgear or no headgear, or how a commission plans to mediate a spectacle that pairs heavyweight power with welterweight precision. Those unknowns aren't leaks, they're lure. Each detail will drop on its own timeline because every answer creates a new wave of engagement. If you've watched the exhibition economy grow since Tyson's hit with Roy Jones Jr. and Mayweather's globe-trotting sparring tours, you already know the funnel. Tease the names, tease the stakes, then drip the specifics until the night sells itself. But forget the business for a second and talk risk. Not records, those stay sleeping in exhibitions, but reputation in an age where the only thing that matters is the clip. If Floyd gets touched clean and jolted for a second, the GIF runs forever. If Tyson is made to look ordinary by a smaller technician, the most feared aura absorbs a week of memes. Neither man's official legacy changes. The algorithm storyline does, and that, more than anything, is the real danger here. It's precisely why they signed. Curiosity beats indifference every time, and nostalgia is undefeated when you pair it with credible jeopardy. Ticket buyers aren't chasing a belt. They're chasing a moment they can be first to post. If you want the rules, date, and city the minute they drop, and all the fight fallout that follows, hit subscribe now and keep the bell on. We do this every day. The heavyweights delivered something rare this week: closure without chaos. After months of interviews and side comments, Fernand Lopez, coach to Cyril Gane, calling Tom Aspinall annoying and suggesting Tom bent the truth about offers, Paris finally put them in the same hallway. Cameras caught what fans wanted, a direct conversation, sober and pointed, ending with a handshake.
Never there has mentioned your name or any fan before Manchester. That's the first time July.
But you have to understand, for us, they did mention Cyril's name before. Maybe not to you, but to us.
Well, no. Mention is like, do you want to fight him? They never even mentioned to me, I swear. Like,
right.
I can talk with any one of them.
I believe you.
So Cyril was like, this is, I don't understand,
no,
because this guy looks so good with me.
I'm only saying
I don't understand what's the difference.
from my perspective, it's the truth. From your perspective, it might be different.
Okay.
But I'm just saying my truth. I would never make it up and be like,
okay,
oh, he's a pussy or whatever. I wouldn't do that. I'm saying the truth from our perspective.
Now it makes sense for me.
No, of course. I'm never going to start making up some lies. But from our perspective.
No shouting match. No viral insult crafted for a t-shirt. Just two men restating their versions of events and agreeing to disagree until the cage decides the rest. In a sport that feeds on outrage, this played like maturity, which somehow felt fresher than another backstage meltdown. Why does this matter? Because face-to-face moments adjust how fans read future matchups. When rivals talk plainly, the narrative sharpens. Aspinall's position is simple. He's willing, he's been willing, and he's ready to fight anyone whose name leads him toward undisputed status. Lopez's position is equally clear. He's protecting his fighter's timeline and bristling at a story he thinks paints them as ducking. The handshake didn't end the debate. It put a border around it. The next time Aspinal and Gane appear in the same sentence, the temperature will be lower, the stakes higher, and the appetite intact. File this under respect wrapped around rivalry. The best kind, because it travels well beyond a single card. The fastest way to lose a moment is to miss weight, and UFC Paris learned that in real time. Losene Keita, an elite prospect and two-division champion outside the UFC, stepped on the scale at 149 pounds, 3 over the featherweight non-title limit. The promotion cited weight management issues and pulled the fight. Patricio Pitbull Freire, one of the most decorated lighter-weight fighters of his era, made 145 and then made his case in public. He wasn't about to gift advantages at this stage of his career, not in a city chosen to favor his opponent, and definitely not after seeing what he described as a lack of effort to try again before the cutoff. Bout canceled, opportunity gone, the collateral damage stretches. For Keita, a debut designed to announce him to a new audience turned into a warning label. For Pitbull, a high-visibility showcase turned into a day of frustration and second-guessing about how and when to rebook. For Paris, the main card lost a story with international flavor, a clash between a UFC newcomer built for buzz and a legend who doesn't need vowels on a poster to sell a fight. The lesson is persistent and boring, which is why it hits so hard. Professionalism doesn't care about hype. If you don't close the cut, the card closes the door. Fans forgive losses. They don't forgive losing the fight before the fight. Pitbull signaling interest in a quicker return elsewhere, like Rio, at least gives the narrative a soft landing. Not everything fell apart at the Accor Arena. The top of the bill did its job. Nassourdine Imavov and Caio Borralho both hit 185, turning numbers into anticipation and giving the city a guaranteed crescendo. That's the first payoff of weigh-in day: certainty. Imavov walks in as France's most credible contender of the moment, a technician with hometown gravity. Borralho brings the composure of a streaking problem, the kind of fighter who drags opponents into patient exchanges and then wins those exchanges by inches. When two athletes make weight clean, the matchup gets what it deserves. No excuses, no asterisks, just consequences. There's a second payoff that's harder to quantify: the energy of a face-off. Stare-downs are theater, but they're not empty. You learn who closes distance and who angles. You learn who smiles and who stares. You learn whether the moment shrinks one guy or sharpens him. Paris had that electricity even with the earlier cancellation clouding the room. If weigh-ins are truth serum, the main event passed the test and poured shots for the crowd. Tomorrow becomes simpler. Two middleweights equal math on the scale, and a building ready to confirm or correct everything the rankings think they know. Tyson versus Mayweather reminded everyone that curiosity sells better than certainty, and that nostalgia gets louder when risk feels real, even if the record book sleeps. Aspinall meeting Fernand Lopez turned a long-distance feud into a measured exchange and a handshake, the kind of moment that ages better than a viral shove. Paris lost Pitbull versus Keita to a number no argument can fix, 149. And the main event honored the sport's oldest contract: make weight, show up, settle it. If you're keeping score at home, write down 3 truths. First, legends still move markets without a belt in sight. The business is attention, and those 2 names mint it. Second, professionalism is the only currency that spends everywhere. The scale doesn't care about hype or hashtags. Third, respect makes rivalries bigger, not smaller. The Aspinal Gane storyline feels cleaner after a calm conversation than it ever did after a week of quotes. You made it to the end, so here's your nudge. If you want daily breakdowns that cut through noise, fast facts, real stakes, and zero fluff, like the video, hit subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss the next update. Which story grabbed you hardest today? The time-bending Tyson-Floyd exhibition, the calm handshake that cooled a heavyweight feud, or the Paris cancellation that reshaped a card overnight? Drop your take in the comments and tell us what you want covered next.